300 ohm resistors are hooked up in parallel to each other and hooked up to a 9-volt battery, how much current will flow through each one? Well, let's kind of picture this in our head before we start. We do have a 9-volt battery. We do have resistors hooked up, more than one, but they're hooked up in parallel. What is that going to do to the amount of resistance? It's going to be somehow less than 300 ohms. Because if each one is 300 ohms, think of it like 3 paths that traffic can flow down. There'll be less traffic backing up around this point because it has 3 ways it can go. So before we can do anything, we say, well, this question's telling me how much resistance, but not exactly. So I've got to do a little thinking and figure out what the resistance is. Now the total resistance of resistors in parallel is 1 over, or the inverse of, the sum of the inverses of all the resistors. So we could work through that nasty thing using the inverse key on our calculator. We could type in 300, 1 over key, plus 300, 1 over key, 300, 1 over key, hit equals, hit the 1 over key one more time, and we would get the right resistance here. There's an easier way, because they're all the same resistance. We can just divide by how many of them there are, and 1/3 of 300 is 100 ohms. It doesn't matter which way you do it, you'll get the right answer there. So we do know the resistance is 100 ohms of resistance. We are told the voltage here, or potential difference, is 9 volts. And we're asked about current, which we can abbreviate I. So we want I, and we know V, and we know R. We're going to use our old friend Ohm's law. I equals V over R. We ask ourselves, is this SI units? Yes, it is. Is this SI units in ohms? Yes, it is. So our answer will be in SI units, which will be amps. Well, how many amps? We plug in 9 for voltage, 100 for current, for resistance, and our current will be 9/100ths of an amp. And that is our answer.